Welcome back to The Full View. It was reported at the weekend that the Northwest Province is on the verge of giving back 17 billion rand to National Treasury. Now, that would be a whopping 30% of the total combined budget of around 57.4 billion. This is money that opposition parties are saying could have been used to improve the lives of residents of a province with one of the poorest service delivery records in the country. But the various departments reportedly have been unable to spend the money, or have they? A report today questions that story. So let's get the latest. We're joined by the Northwest Provincial Treasury Department Head, Ndlela Kunene. Mr. Kunene, thank you for being with us. What is the truth of the matter? Is it true, the reports that 17 billion rand will be given back?
No, thank you very much. And let me also pass my greetings to the viewers. I think even in your introduction, you made reference to a budget of 58 billion. I need to confirm to you that the provincial budget for 2021-22 adjusted, it is 48.7 billion rand, which was allocated. Obviously, it is not in the order of 50 billion or 58 billion that has been mentioned by your good selves and the media, but it's 48.7. Of that 48.7 billion, 47.2 billion has been spent, which translates to 96.84% of the adjusted budget. Resultantly, it is highly unlikely and impossible for a budget where you have spent 96.84% to return an amount of 17. So, in other words, it is not true, and I think the information is incorrect, and it has not been verified with our good selves.
All right, thank you for that, and that is why we wanted you to clarify that matter, because there are conflicting reports. This is confusing. In defence of City Press, where could they have got this wrong? Where could they have got the figures from? Because it's pretty detailed. They give spending percentages for each department. They said that Treasury submitted a report to the legislature. That was referred to the Portfolio Committee, which questioned the ability of Treasury to monitor what's going on. So there's some specific steps that are reported on here. Is it all wrong?
I wish to also just clarify that the Provincial Treasury, in terms of the accountability framework that has been established between government and the legislature, is that every quarter we submit what we call the quarterly expenditure report to the legislature. It is subjected to an engagement to scrutiny by the Portfolio Committee. The last time when we were with the committee was in relation to the third quarter of the 2021-22. How we understood, at least in terms of the report, and as I have said, is that the said reporter did not confirm or verify or engage with the Provincial Treasury in terms of the publication of yesterday. How we understand is that the information would have been used on the basis of the report that would have been submitted, and we obviously, to the extent that we have not engaged with the reporter, would not know how the reporter would have used or that information. Even if the report is Treasury's report, the interpretation in terms of the report is also incorrect and is factually wrong.
Let's look at another example. The report suggesting that about 62% of the budgets for maintaining roads, for example, has been spent. So you're saying it's much higher, but what about the claims that the roads are in a dire state in the Northwest? Are we seeing, if there's such a high expenditure, are we seeing that materially on the ground in terms of better service delivery, better roads, better hospitals, or not?
I want to put the context right, that I think the clarification that one had to provide was in relation to the factually incorrect report. However, as I have said, is that we do account through various structures on the performance of the province. I can indicate as at the 31st of March 2022, the Department of Public Works and Roads, they had spent 2.8 billion of the 3.3 billion budget. So therefore, that information post the process of the audit, it will be subjected to scrutiny, and the department obviously would be subjected to engagement in terms of the non-financial information, which are performance related. We remain obviously as a province available to provide any information that is required in terms of service delivery programs that are implemented by the program, and working with Office of the Premier through their M&E.
Yeah.
However, I need to indicate that the funds have been availed by the Provincial Treasury to the departments, different departments, and consistent with the provision of the PFMA, accounting officers and the executive, they are obviously accountable to the legislature in terms of areas of performance, because they would have tabled the annual performance plan, and therefore the legislature would then obviously have to interact with the departments in terms of performance. But I need to caution that it is always advisable that we need to use the information on the basis of verification, on the basis of audit, and therefore let us allow the other internal processes and auditing process to be concluded before we engage on any speculative performance-related matters.
All right, sure. So you're saying you only want to look at the numbers for now. Can I end with this? If Treasury is meant to monitor spending, at least, can you say that you are happy that the departments are getting the money it's planned for, and then they're spending that money or most of it, and you're happy with the situation in a province that is under administration? Do you think it's working well right now?
No, I think there are areas of improvement. I need to put it on record, is that even in the two successive speeches that has been presented by the MEC, including the Premier, we have raised concern about the planning capabilities which we are improving, and we need to look at it. We are also obviously remain concerned about the value for money aspect, which is something that we are also doing in, and we are also embarking on a massive enhanced monitoring and evaluation of projects to attest and confirm as to whether the citizens of the province would have benefited from the funds that would have been allocated to the departments. So in other words, I'm not suggesting that there are no areas that requires attention. All what I'm saying is that there is a broad accountability framework which all of us need to respect, and if we are expected to provide information that talks to service delivery, will be welcome to come and present that information. And that information would be factual information that would have been verified. But there are obviously areas that requires further work, and the state of the province addressed by the Premier has obviously elucidated on some of those areas. And the MEC speech is also very clear in terms of the areas. It is not only in relation to service delivery in departments, but obviously concerns have also been raised about issues that are relating to the municipalities and public entities.
All right, thank you for your time tonight. That was the Northwest Provincial Treasury Department Head, Ndlela Kunene.